Hey guys, it's Ray. Welcome to another video. Today what I'm doing is I am renovating this house. It's called a personalized mansion. I don't know why I named it that, but it is one of the first houses I did in the Sims 4. It's like on my gallery, but it's all the way like at the very bottom, like if you scroll all the way down. So like I'm kind of glad it's all the way down there because it does not look good. So where I'm like going through it now. Um, as you can see, the windows just aren't aligned. I don't use that many columns, and I feel like columns provide a lot of detail. And as you can see there, um, am having some trouble with the wallpaper. Just the window placement is all off, and the landscaping is just not happening because it's just kind of plain. Like I have bushes and then a fence bush next to it, and as you can see, the bedrooms are so undecorated and the bathrooms are so big. And like, there's nothing wrong with a big bathroom, but if you're gonna have a big bathroom, doesn't it make sense to, kind of fill the space? Guess not. I don't know what I was doing over here, and I leave this whole empty space with the roof cutting in the wall, and I had that whole empty space down in the entrance area. And just looking at this whole thing, like, it's not one of my proudest builds. Also, the plants poking through, like, I'm okay with plants poking through as long as you can cover it up with something. I know sometimes with trees it doesn't always work out, but I always try my best to keep the plants from cutting through, and I feel like I could have done a better job there. To be fair, this is when the base game was the only game out, so it kind of makes sense I didn't have that many objects to work with, but I definitely could still bring a little bit more to this kind of. So now I have this like master, and of course the tree's cutting through, and I don't know why I put that map there. Do not ask me. I had no idea. And the little closet there, the makeshift closet on the wall, super cute, but I would never do that ever now. So, oh well. And then of course another gigantic bathroom. So what I'm doing is I am basically renovating this and transforming it into a whole different build. By renovating, I am not just like changing the outside. I basically tear down the entire thing. I wouldn't even call it renovating. I'm just kind of transforming it. Um, so what I do is I kind of take the basic shell, and then I sort of add just like decorations, and I add stuff to the front and to the back, and I kind of I take out the dormer in the front on the right and the dormers in the back because that just was not working for me. And then I add a lot more detail, and it starts to look kind of like, I play with these curvy roofs, so it starts to kind of look like a fairy castle or something like that. So I thought it'd kind of be more of a fantasy build. I use a lot of Realm of Magic stuff and some vampire stuff as well. And I have this lot in Willow Creek here that I'm using, and originally, I think I built this house on the 50 by 40 lot in Newcrest, but I moved it because I like the background of this lot a lot better, and I also like how there's a little bit more space. Those 10 more blocks front and back, that can provide a lot of space, and I used it for rocks and stuff, and I definitely amped up the landscaping in this, like, for sure, because it was just not detailed. It was not cutting it, and you can kind of tell in that first look there of the house, it just was not working. So I definitely add a lot, and it takes a little while, but I think it's worth it. I think I spend the most time on the house landscaping. I don't furnish the bedrooms because I'm just not an interior decorator. Like, I will if I want to, but if I don't want to, I'm not going to make myself do it. So I really wasn't feeling it. There are like over 9 bedrooms anyways and 9 bathrooms, so I didn't end up doing all of those, but like, I feel like if I want to do it, I'm going to do it. But if I don't want to go for it, then like I shouldn't try it all. And that's why I think the house looks really bad, the original one that I did, because I like started to fill the bedrooms, but then I kind of gave up. So I'm like, if you're going to do a bedroom, like you might as well do it all the way. So that's one of the reasons why I just left the entire bedrooms, all of them just empty in this house because I knew I didn't want to do them. So I'm not going to like half-ass it, you know? So now I'm just working on the front. I start with the front, then I do the back, and I start adding these curved roofs, and I end up calling it like Whimsical Willows or something because I don't know. It seems like in this world. You know, it seems like there are a lot of willow trees. I've never seen a willow tree, what it actually looks like, but I'm just gonna assume because isn't it called like Willow Creek, something like that? So I thought it fit, like the name fit. So I went with that, and I end up raising this a lot, and I use a debug kind of what's it called? Bridge. I can't think of any words. The debug bridge to kind of go over like the moat area that I have, and I find some really nice debug objects from the Get to Work pack, and it's like this like sparkling like shiny like water or something like glowing from the rocks, and I thought that was really cool. So I kind of added that in there, and I have a lot of vampire rocks, and I think I have some Get to Work rocks as well, and I think that it just kind of like blends in, and it kind of makes it look even more magical. I add some like pink trees as well, so like it kind of blends into the environment because I have like the back, I repeat some of the trees that are already in the background, but I also bring in some new trees and just add some color, and I think it makes it look a little more like fantasy or whimsical. So I'm working with the curved roofs right now. I'm trying to play around with it so that this front area is symmetrical. So I want those two dormers to be symmetrical, but I also have this whole left area on the side that just, I don't know what to do with it, and it sticks out way too far in my opinion. So I do end up bringing it back a little bit, not too much, just a little bit so that it's a little toned down. I feel like houses where it's like one part's super back and one part's like super front, like I don't like that because just like the way it looks to me, I don't know, curb appeal, I don't like it. So that's why I went with pushing back that wall just a little bit so that it's a little more kind of even with the whole front of the house. And of course I'm adding my columns. It bothered me that in the other house there were no columns. I just feel like it's such an easy detail and it adds so much, and like I don't think I ever do builds now like without adding a ton of columns. So I don't know why, but I just do it. And now I'm going to add this little octagonal area over here. I kind of play around with it for a little bit, figuring out where I want to put it. But I do like doing this because I can have the kind of like cone roof on top of it, and that's like one of my favorite things to do, and it adds so much detail. Like it's a way to make a build kind of more interesting and intricate, and I just like that because, you know, the best builds are the ones that are kind of elaborate and detailed, and that's what I was really going for this. Like the personalized mansion that I did before, it just like it wasn't cutting it because it wasn't detailed. It wasn't, there was nothing special about it basically. So that's why I tried to kind of make this special. Like you look at it and you want to say like, oh wow, like that looks interesting. Like I want to look at the inside. But if you have a house that you're like, that looks ugly, like why would you even want to look on the inside if it doesn't look good on the outside? So that's my main goal for a lot of my builds, just to make it look super nice on the outside, make it like a house that you would want to look at on the inside. Just like in like real estate, you kind of want a house with curb appeal because buyers aren't going to come in unless they like see something they like and kind of are interested in it. So that's basically what I'm trying to do in The Sims, except I'm not buying a house because I'm 19. So, but anyways, still, that's all I'm saying. So now I'm just working on the back here. I started doing the side, and what I did is I extended the porch from the front because the original house, it was only in the front. So what I did is I took it in the front, and then I put it all the way to the side and then in the back as well. So it kind of curves around the house, and I thought that added a lot of nice space there. And I also had that whole like right side from that from the porch area, and I kind of brought it down on the side a little bit, and I have some little like circular areas off to the side there that you can also use so your Sims can go up and down. The fountain is on like the lower circular area, and there's like a cute little like trellis thing that I got from the debug menu. It's Get to Work, I think. And that's up there, and there's like a table and like some benches and stuff, and you'll see it later, it'll make sense in a little bit. But I add a whole little area to the right side, and once I raise the house, it'll be a little more obvious what I'm talking about because I raise the house, and then I have this like little lower area to the side, and then there's the ground. So it's kind of like levels with the house. So I thought that was like kind of cool because another thing like that's really useful to have in your houses is levels. Like the original mansion I did, it's not even a mansion. It's like 2 levels. This house, I think it ends up being like 5 or 6 just because I have, I think, 4 levels. I have the max that I can on this house, and then I think I go down twice to the basement level. So I just have like a lot of space, and I think using the space that you have is really important. Like, I know you don't always want to have like a giant mansion or whatever, but I feel like if you are trying to make a big house, or if you are trying to make a small house, whatever you do, it's important to kind of like make the house like useful, like be efficient with your space basically. So I think that can make a huge difference in a house. So I'm adding the trim too. I don't remember if I had trim in the old house, but I don't think I did. Trim, columns, they all make the biggest difference ever. Levels, roof tools. The roof tools, I mean, to be fair, I didn't know how to use it at all because it was one of my first builds in The Sims 4. But getting used to it is kind of hard. But I just think that once you get the hang of it, it's definitely worth it to use like as much roof tools as you can to like kind of make the whole build detailed and all that. So I thought that was pretty important to do. And I actually didn't build it all in The Sims 4 for a while. Once The Sims 4 came out, I tried it. I was like, this is hard. I'm gonna go back to The Sims 3. And I did have fun while I was doing The Sims 3, but I do feel like I was missing out in The Sims 4 because even though The Sims 3 is what I was used to, I saw all these builders on YouTube doing these amazing houses in The Sims 4, and I was like, why can't I do that in The Sims 3? It just wasn't as, as detailed, and there weren't as many options and stuff. So I was like, okay, I have to get used to using The Sims 4 to be able to build like these amazing things that other people are building. So just because The Sims 4 has way more tools, and especially now that it has landscaping, that's the original reason why I didn't want to start using The Sims 4, because Sims 3 had landscaping, like terrain tools, and The Sims 4 did not. So once they added it, and once they added pools and all that, I was like, okay, I'm on board, I'm going to get used to it. And now I can create things in The Sims 4 that I could never build in The Sims 3, which is like super amazing. Just the fact that you can take the roofs and just like move them all together, or like a staircase and just move it, that's like honestly amazing, because in The Sims 3, like you could not do that. Like when you placed a roof, like that was it. And I really did not like that at all, because it was so much pressure. I'd be like, okay, I need to make sure I'm lining this up, and then I have to go across like the exact amount of tiles. I did like how The Sims 3 had the numbering of the tiles. The Sims 4 doesn't have that. But what I do use is I use prices. So like if I'm trying to find the center of a lot, what I'll do is I'll take one wall and I'll put it from like almost the edge to the center. And then I'll be like, okay, that was $300. So then I'll take it from the other side and then do $300 and then find the center between that. So I do use prices a lot to like kind of figure out how big an item is, because even if it's one unit bigger, it'll still be like a different price. So I did like that a lot. And I like how we still had some sort of idea of the sizes of things in The Sims 4. So now I'm changing the roof. I know I want it to be like magical, mystical, so I end up doing this cute white roof and this like blue color. And as you can see, I kind of have the the windows that are like the medium height. So you have the small height, the medium height, and the large height. I have the medium height on the first level because that is the correct like height for the wall, but then the upper 2 levels are just the small height. So I have these medium windows on the small height, and they stick through the top, and you can see them, and it looks kind of bad, but I think I covered it up well enough because of fences. Like another thing that I really think is important in building is you need to make sure that like you don't compromise like the things that are important that you want to have in your builds for things that like you don't really care about, and that just make a little bit of a difference. So like I think these windows are worth it to put in there, so I'm gonna just take the chance by having this weird window sticking out, and I think that's worth it because in the end result is going to be much better. I think it's going to make a big enough difference that the windows will be worth it, and I don't really care as much about the sticking over. So I do think that's kind of important, like with The Sims 4 and like playing things like, especially when you're like combining couches or whatever, like there's flickering a lot of times when you're combining objects, side tables, anything like that. But if you want to make that continuous whatever you're making with everything connected, it's worth it because it just creates such a different kind of look that you really want to have. So what you have to do is you just have to kind of cover up the flickery spots. So it's like kind of worth it. Like the downside of using the objects is kind of worth it for what you're like combining to make with that. So I think that's another important thing that I've learned doing Sims. And I just think I want to share these ideas with you guys because they were really helpful for me, so I thought they'd be helpful for other people to know. So I have learned a lot. I have been playing The Sims for a while. I've been building a long time, so I just think that, you know, there's a lot of things that you can learn, and I want to help you guys learn some stuff. So I love when people give me advice. Like, I just downloaded the tool mod, and I'm going to use it in this build, actually. I love it. I can't believe I haven't gotten it sooner. I think the reason why I didn't get it sooner is because I was like, mods, like, I don't like mods, and I'm so not used to using them. But I was like, okay, this is definitely going to be worth it. And like, I didn't know how to download it, but it was super easy. Twisted Mexi is amazing. The mods are just, like, the tool mod is amazing, and there are definitely more on the Twisted Mexi website, so you should definitely check that out. It's amazing, and it doesn't take that much to get used to. Like, figuring out, like, Movie Maker and whatever to edit my videos was way more confusing than figuring out these mods, so it's definitely worth it. And the best thing is that when you upload these builds onto the gallery, people can still download it because it's not CC, it's just mods. So it makes the objects look different, but the objects are still kind of like, they're the same objects. They're not anything different that you have to download. They're just in a different position. So I just think that is like a super cool kind of like factor for this mod especially. I think that's just a really cool aspect of it. So yes, this is what I'm going to be doing for the next few minutes. My favorite thing, you might know, is landscaping. So I spend so much time landscaping. These rocks take a while. I hope I cut some of it out. I think I do. But honestly, like, for me, the most satisfying thing to watch in a video, in like a speed build or whatever, is like landscaping. Like, I know people like the decorative aspect, and people like the like layout of the house, and like how you like figure out the layout inside and the rooms and all that, and like how you place the foundations and connect them with each other with stairs and stuff. But like, for me, it's 100% the landscaping. I just think it's so interesting, and I definitely overdo it a lot. Like, look at this. Like, it's mostly brown. It's way too many rocks, but I'm like, it's so worth it. I just love landscaping so much. I think that's just my favorite thing by far. You guys, I want to know what everyone else feels like is their favorite part. Like, if you have something else that you like and you like don't like landscaping at all, I want to know, because I feel like I'm crazy for liking the landscaping so much, and I don't want to be like the only one left out. So if you do also like landscaping, let me know if you like something else. I want to know, because I feel like a lot of other people just like different things, but I just hope I'm not alone because I really like the landscaping. So yes, I'm gonna be doing that for a few more minutes. It takes a while. It's a whole process, but I love the process because first I place the object, then I see what it looks like from the front, and I use like curb appeal for a lot of my builds. Like, I know that I want it to look like a certain way from the front, so like I position the object, then I go to the front and look at it. So like, that's why you'll see me like doing things in the back and then going to the front. Like, I just did it right now. So I go to the front, I look at it, and then okay, I'm like, move on. So I definitely do that a lot. So once I place these rocks back here, I think I'm done with landscaping for now. I only do a little bit of landscaping at the end because I add these like bright and colorful mushrooms from the Get to Work pack, because I was like, okay, that's also like fantasy. And then I also add the pink trees that I was talking about earlier, because I was like, okay, that's super like kind of like whimsical. So I definitely went for that. And now I'm just adding a few more of these rocky objects from the debug menu that are Get to Work that I was talking about before, and then I add some Get Together rocks. I love the whole collection of rocks. It's just like a bunch of tiny ones. So I already figured out the layout of the house, but I start to decorate it right now, and now I'm doing the pool area. You'll see when I start decorating other rooms that I have the pool area, and then it's like open ceilings, like up 2 levels, which is like amazing. So you can kind of like look over, and I just think it's so grand and like fancy. And I don't think I've ever done anything like quite this grand, which like made me really excited because I'm kind of doing something different that I've never really done before. So I'm just starting to decorate this area downstairs. This is just kind of like the pool / lounge area. I wanted to bring these fancy dine out lights in because I love them so much. Just, they're so detailed and they're so big and grand, and I just thought that was super cool. I recently got the dine out pack, so I was really excited to be using new objects like this. So that got me really excited. And now I'm adding these spa day side tables, and I just start to add some cute little decorations. usually when I start a house, I'm thinking like, okay, I'm gonna make it super detailed. Everything's gonna be like perfect. Like nothing is gonna be like in the wrong place. Everything is gonna have an object on it. And then as I go through the house, I'm just like, never mind, I'm done. And then I just kind of like BS the rest of it. So if anyone else does that, please let me know because I want to know that I'm not crazy because I really, I start like so optimistic and then by the time, like, I'm not an interior decorator, I'm like a builder. So once I start decorating, I'm like, I'm done with this. Please take it away from me. I don't want to do the bedrooms. Like, I like the kitchen and like the living areas and stuff, but once I get to the bedrooms, I'm like, never mind, I'm done with this, take it away from me. So that's kind of how I feel like with decorating the house. I'm just like, no, I don't want to do any more of this, please. Let me be done. I'm just gonna put a few little objects here, and I think that's what I did in that original, my original house for this. I did because I was like, okay, well, I have the bedrooms laid out, but I don't want to put anything in them, so I'm just gonna put like a bed and two side tables and like a lamp, and that's like the kind of thing that I want to avoid by doing multiple or by just like leaving multiple rooms empty because I'm like, okay, well, it's going to be a bedroom, but it's not going to be like a terrible bedroom. Like it's better, I think it's better to leave it empty and let other people do it if they want to than to fill it with something disgusting because it's like, nope, I don't want to give this a bad impression. I don't want to like say that I tried but I didn't do it well. I'd rather say, oh, I didn't try and I'm okay with that. I don't know why, but that's just my opinion in interior decorating because I'm not the best, but it definitely takes practice to kind of be able to take the layout of a house. And I think that like one of my favorite things in interior decorating is doing the not doing like the decorating, but doing like the layout. So like I look at an empty house and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna fit like this room here and these walls here, and I like to make things symmetrical and nice and pretty. So that's what I did off camera here because it took me a while, but I'm trying just to do like cute little things and little accents just to make it look like, you know, a little different and kind of like fit the outside with the inside because I want the outside, it's all whimsical and cute. I want that to kind of go in the inside. I want to bring in these colors. So I have like this blue room over here and I have a little yellow room off to the side and like black and white. I just think it's like super cute and super elegant and fancy. And you can see that the microwave I just placed, I kind of did something I've never done before. I put it into the cabinet by putting it on a counter and then moving the counter. So I can move the microwave wherever I want as long as I'm moving the counter with it. So I thought that was really interesting. I've seen people kind of like size down the counter and then like place, like if they have a coffee thing on top of a microwave, they can do that. For some reason, it wasn't letting me size down the counters. I don't know why, something was wrong with it, but you know, it's okay. I'm just gonna work with what I have. So now I'm doing the bathroom over here. There ends up being like a ton of bathrooms, guys, like way too many bathrooms. I don't know why anyone would ever need these many bathrooms, but sometimes I just end up with like little side rooms and I'm like, okay, it's tiny, it's too small to be like an actual room, but it's big enough to be a bathroom, so I'm just gonna make it a bathroom and now your Sims will have no issues going to the bathroom. And so now I'm doing the kind of pool area. Like I said, there are a lot of levels above it, but the issue was that I kind of built into the foundation, and that's what I actually did in the personalized mansion, my original one in the front, but instead I did it this time in the back. But what I had to do is I had to use the tool mod to move the curtains down because you can't place anything against the foundation. I wanted it to kind of continue like, okay, well, there aren't windows here because I can't place windows, but I'm gonna have the mirrors here and just kind of create that like sort of like nice look of all of the curtains coming down from like 3 levels, and I thought that looked so nice. So the tool mod was really helpful with that. I just placed a second curtain where the curtain already was, and then I clicked it, tool mod, dropped it down. Same with the mirrors. So I just thought that was like a super cool thing to do, and I do end up having to fix it a little bit. It gets a little messed up. I don't know if I put that in the footage, but you know, there are always things that get messed up once you do something, so it's all right. And now the lights, of course, the lights, the painful lights, so many lights, and it's just kind of boring. So like this part, I don't know why I even kept this in. It's literally so boring, but I just have like a pet peeve, like I need lights. Like if it's dark, your Sims get mad and you can't see anything. So like lights are so important to me. I end up adding lights on the outside as well. Just I always go to nighttime mode, always check my builds, just make sure that you can see it at night because I don't know why, it's super important for me. So might as well do it so I don't get annoyed. So here's my yellow room. This is going to be sort of a living room area. I use the vampire sofas, and I couldn't find like a nice yellow couch. So what I ended up doing is I use these gray ones, and then I have a little yellow chair. I size it down, and then I raise it up a little bit so it looks like a pillow. I believe your Sims cannot sit in that exact spot just because of the objects that are, you know, like intersecting or whatever. But I think they might be able to sit on the other two sides of the couch there. So it's fine. You know, there's already plenty of seating. So what's one spot gone? Like I said, sometimes you got to compromise the function for the look. So now I'm just adding some little activities to do here. And I have these empty walls. So I'm like, okay, mirrors, you know, whatever. Just going to add some random objects. If I see an empty space, I'm just like, okay, I'm going to add this. So like, even if it seems like I know what I'm doing, I'm like playing around with everything. Like, I don't know, like, I'm not an interior builder. Like, I'm not a designer. I want to be an architect, but we'll see if that actually happens, you know, still in college. So that would be my dream. I would want to bring all these builds to life and just make them like happen and like live. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm going to be so bad with like picking the house I want to live in, because I'm going to be like so specific. I'm going to be like, if I can't choose every aspect of it, I will not live there. So that's probably going to be an issue, but maybe if I have enough money, I'll be able to just build my own dream home. That's the goal. Practicing already for it, so might as well, right? So now I'm just looking around, placing just, you know, some last minute like decoration kind of things. I often forget curtains. I think I forgot like most of the curtains in, if not all, in the original house. So I wanted to make sure I got all of them, and I think in all the rooms I decorated, I did remember the curtains. So now I'm trying to build a basement area over here, the one that's going to be next to the pool. But it's like not working out for me because I try to delete and the foundation go down to the ground and then go down from the ground. But then I realized that you can just build straight from that level above the foundation into the ground. You could not do that in The Sims 3. The Sims 3 was super annoying with their like rules about like where the stairs can be near the foundation and like going down through, and it was just super complicated like that. So I definitely am glad that this was able to work out, because I definitely ended up using that space down there. I create like a little spa area, you know. This house is already big enough, so why not add like, you know, a super fancy spa. So now I'm doing I'm using the tool mod to change the angle of these little chairs, and I love these chairs. They are from Discover University. Yes, that one. And I use it to create like the semicircle kind of couch area. You can see they kind of all go into each other. There's flickering, it's annoying, but I just decided it was worth it. I like the way it looks. I didn't want to change anything about it. If it bothers you, if you want to play in the house, just get rid of it. It's no issue. But I just like the color of it, and you might see a lot of other people using these. A lot of builders use them because you can kind of create like any shape that you want with the couch. The Sims 3 had that, like where you could actually create like your own sectional, but they don't really have that in The Sims 4, but they kind of give us the tools to make it ourselves. So I really like that, and I like the idea of doing that. So I made like ones that are like on a diagonal, and ones of course that like curve around like that, and then just like normal, you know, square sectionals. So you can kind of just do whatever you want with that. So if you are looking for a pack to get and you do want to create sectionals, I do recommend going for Discover University, because it has a lot of stuff, especially the windows. If you've watched any of my other videos, you probably know I'm like obsessed with the Discover University windows. So many came with them, and I love them. I'm in awe of all of them. So now I'm trying to create the entrance area here. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing right now. I'm like, well, maybe if I change the flooring, it'll make the carpet look better. But I'm like, never mind. So I just keep that straight across the carpet, and I add some details by adding these columns here. And I have like you can see like once I go up a level, I have like a whole bunch of columns and spandrels, like a whole decoration of them. And I use that a lot in the house. It takes up space. I think it adds detail. It's super nice. So I definitely like doing things like that in builds. And here I am creating my black and white space. This is the second level. You can see it overlooks the pool area. So it goes, you can look down into the first level and into the basement. So I thought that was super cool and something that was really fun to do because I don't do that a lot. I don't do it often. And when I get to do it, it's like so much fun because I can kind of change it up and do it a way that I want to do it. And I can do it different every time. And I just feel like I'm not building that many houses where I have the chance to do that. So when I do have the chance, it makes me really excited. So I'm happy to do that when I can. So just adding things to the wall, you know, I'm not a fan of that many of the paintings on The Sims 4, so a lot of times I'll just go with mirrors and like curtains, and I'll be like, okay, it's not a window, but it's a mirror, so why not put curtains on it, right? I don't know. I didn't put curtains on these circular windows though because I could not figure out like what kind of a curtain I would even use for it. Like I think there's one like circular-ish one that comes with Realm of Magic pack, but I don't think it would have looked good. The colors, I didn't like the swatches of them, so that's okay. I'm going to the upstairs. Oh, look, another mirror and a curtain. Wow, what a surprise. I definitely recommend, like, if you have many blank walls and you don't want to just fill it with, like, paintings and stuff, definitely mirrors, curtains, go to the, not just the, like, paintings category, but also, like, the wall decorations category, because there are a lot of different decorations that aren't necessarily, like, pictures and stuff. And there actually are pictures there, too, like, extra ones if you want to see them, but I definitely like using some of those decorations, especially in the kitchen. They're like cute little dishes, like that can hang from the wall, and just like little tapestries and cute things like that. So I do really like using that when I'm tired of all the paintings. And here I'm doing the kind of study area. I was like, okay, well, I want to make this house like somewhat magical. Like I have magical decorations and stuff, but I don't have any like actual magical objects. So I put the cauldrons up on the second level here, and the bottom level is more of a study because I have these desks, and I put computers at them because I realized I didn't have any computers in the whole house, and I only have one TV on the black and white living area because the TV just wouldn't really fit with the living areas downstairs. And I know if there's no TV, the Sims probably won't use it and sit there, but sometimes like they'll listen to music and they'll dance. So I know sometimes I have a problem like getting Sims to like go into rooms and just like hanging out there if there's like nothing to do. Like they'll just totally avoid the room unless like if there's just a couch there, because like what are they gonna do, sit and do nothing? No. So I do think that it's important for a lot of houses, you know, you have activities to do in the living room. So like I have the piano, I have the chess table in the downstairs. So I think Sims would probably go into that yellow room, but I do not think they'd be going to the blue room with the circular couch, especially because they probably won't even be able to sit on that couch. It's more of a decorative object. But here's the garden over here. I add a little plasma tree over there. And now I'm just figuring out like last minute things. I'm doing some more outdoor decorating. I use these Realm of Magic chairs. I love them so much. They look super like magical and fancy. And I use it with the beautiful circular table from Jungle Adventure pack. I love it. And then I use these base game benches just to create, you know, a little seating space. Like there's so much deck, I definitely wanted to use it. Like I wasn't gonna just leave it empty. And then I'm sizing up this little like rock kind of rug just to make it a little bit bigger and pop a little bit more. I like doing that with rugs, like especially with the tool object is so much easier because you have this rug and then you want another rug, but you can't make the right size. Like sometimes you size it up, it's too big, you size it down, it's too small. So you can kind of pick the scale that you want, and like you can scale it up and down. And I just think that's super, super awesome and super nice to have with the tool mod. So I think once I start doing the outdoor lights, I go down to the spa. I realize like, oh wait, I did a whole basement area that I have not decorated yet. So, oh, checking what it looks like. I want it to be bright at night. Sometimes if a house is bright enough, then I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna put it on the gallery in night mode. But I feel like a lot of times it just doesn't end up looking that nice and bright. So I feel like it's better to upload your builds to the gallery during the day because it's easier to see it and all that. And oh look, I'm gonna add another bedroom or bathroom. Like what a surprise! So I'm gonna have like a little bathroom area here and like a shower area as well. And then I have like, you can see I made this extra room off to the side, and that room is going to be like where the saunas are. And I have, you'll see like I start to place like massage tables and all of that. And it takes me like a few minutes to figure this out. I don't know why it takes me so long, but I knew that I wanted to put these little fish tanks here. So I thought that was cute. And then I put like these lockers up against the wall, and then I play with it around. I play around with it for a while. I think your sim should be able to get through both of those, kind of to both of those areas. Hopefully they will be. I'm really bad with playtesting. I'm going to work on that. I promise. And then I add lights over here just to make it kind of nice. I didn't want to have like the subtle saucer lights because those were like super bright. So I wanted to have something like that was a little nice, but like not too much, you know. So then I'm like thinking about what I want to put on these walls. I just put mirrors because I didn't want to be like over decorated. And I feel like that's it. Do I do the mushrooms on camera? I don't remember. I think I might. Yeah, I'm going to. Get ready, guys. I use tool. I use the 9 0 to raise it. I use the 0 button to lower it. It's just, I go all over the place here. I'm just like mushroom, mushroom, mushroom. It adds the blue color that I like to see because it kind of matches that like blue water that you can see. And I really wanted more of that to kind of just counter this gray because it was too much gray. It was like blue, gray. I want it to be like kind of a blend. And that's another important thing with builds. Like the first one that I did, it was completely red, just red, and then green for the grass. So I think it's really important to include more than one color in a build. It's boring if it's just one color. I think sometimes like if a build is all white because you want to be super pristine, like as long as you do it right, it can look good. But like having a build that's only red, like unless they're like white details or like other color details. I'm sorry, I just hit my mic. I hope that's okay. Unless it's like super detailed with other colors, it's just not going to look the way you want it to look. It's not going to look nice. So I think it's really important to try to add as many colors as you can. You don't have to do like all of the colors in the rainbow, but like if you're going for a color scheme, like try to add like the accent colors as much as you can. So not too much that it like overpowers it, but just enough that like it adds some detail and some kind of like pop of the eye so that you again can get that kind of curb appeal that you want from a build. So I think I'm almost done. I hope I'm almost done because I feel like I put mushrooms on for a while, guys. Okay, good. We're done with the mushrooms. So now I just add these like fantasy, like pink trees. I wanted some more trees. I like adding trees because if a house is big and tall, you want to add trees to kind of counter that because it looks bad if like you have this tall house and then just like a bunch of tiny trees surrounding it. Like that doesn't look good. So I always try to add like levels, like, okay, this house is tall, but there's a tree that's taller and like a tree that's shorter. So kind of just creates like different ideas and levels of stuff. And like builds, I also like to do that. So here are the screenshots. I can't believe I'm already done. You can download this from the gallery. My ID is Ray3501. This was my first video with the face recording. Let me know if you guys like it. Comment if you have done anything like this, ever renovated a build like this. Let me know. I would love to know. And thank you guys so much for watching. This is like a little bit of a different type of build video that I've done, but let me know if you like it. I can do things like this again. I have plenty of bad houses. I promise. Trust me. If you go to the bottom of my gallery, it's pretty disgusting. Like I don't recommend going there, but luckily for you, I get to fix these up. So now I'm on to the layout screenshots and almost done with the video. So I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.